Hi, I'm Josie Henley-Einion and I'm here to talk about my novel Silence, which is published by Legend Press. It's quite an interesting concept, the idea of talking about silence, because it's one of those things, the joke goes, it's broken as soon as you say it. And I think that silence is the title because it's a theme throughout the book, that there are so many things that are unsaid. There are things that go on behind closed doors. There are things that have gone on in our past and we don't talk about. And it's only when something happens, something quite major happens, that things in our past might suddenly come into the forefront of our lives. The story goes, Jackie Harris is writing her autobiography. She is a reasonably normal 30-something woman who is living with her partner, who is another woman called Jim. They both have male names, Jack and Jim. And Jackie works as a prison counsellor. But she has got a bit of a past, and she's never actually talked to Jim about things that she did when she was younger, about her upbringing, the fact that she was fostered. She went to various different foster homes, and the fact that she's previously been on the stage and getting up to all sorts of things. But she is writing her autobiography, and her plan is that she will give this to Jim to read. But something goes drastically wrong before she gets a chance to do that. And the book opens telling you what has happened, that Jack has actually killed a man. Kind of by accident, but maybe not. And what you get all the way through is you get these newspaper articles saying Jackie Harris, prison counsellor, killed an ex-con, all this salacious stuff that you kind of get in the news media. And at the same time, they're starting to dredge up her past. And all these things that she's written about in her autobiography are now being twisted by journalists of a certain sort, trying to make out that Jackie is worse than she actually is, or that she believes she is. I mean, it's up to the reader really to decide when you read it whether Jackie is the hero or not. Then on top of that, you've got another layer where there's Jimmy's narration, and Jimmy is quite a complex person herself, and she's got quite a background herself. So you've got the two stories running alongside each other, and there's quite a build-up. You finally, at the end of the book, you finally find out what happened. And I hope you enjoy reading it. I certainly enjoyed writing it. I can tell you that there's a lot of sex in it, there's a lot of swearing in it, and there's a fair amount of violence. So if you're not into any of those things, then that's a warning straight off. There's also drugs. The main drug, I would say, is coffee, probably because I drank a lot of coffee while I was writing it, and because I'm a bit of a coffee addict myself. The format of the book is quite unusual. It has straight narration, obviously, but it also has emails, chat room transcripts, newspaper articles. They're all fake newspaper articles. This is a kind of it's a novel, but it's kind of couched in terms of what we now see as being misery memoir. When I started writing it in 2003, and I'd never heard the phrase misery memoir, but after I'd finished it, there was this big upsurge in recent years of people who've been abused, people who've had really tough times in their lives, writing these misery memoirs, and I thought, yeah, this is what I've written. I've written a fictional misery memoir. So there you go. Hope you buy it and hope you read it. This is from later on in the book, but this is a younger Jackie in this clip. She's about 13 in this. Jack puts the dishes away quickly, while Claire goes back to her room to get something. This is one of my nan's teacups, she says proudly as she comes back into the kitchen, holding up a cracked and rather ordinary-looking flowered porcelain cup. Boil the kettle then. Claire places the teacup reverently on the kitchen surface as Jackie fills the kettle and flicks the switch, hiding her disappointment as she had thought it would be more interesting. It has to be tea leaves, not bags, Claire is saying, annoyed that she can find nothing like leaves in the foster mother's kitchen. Jackie realises that it is something special after all. Well, why not just tear the bag open, she suggests. Claire's face lights up. All right, Einstein, you do it. Jack shakes half a tea bag's worth of dust into the cup and Claire peers in dubiously. Not sure this is going to work, but here goes. She pours the water over the tea, filling the cup halfway. Now, you swill it around 3 times, take 3 sips, and then tip the water and turn the cup over. Claire mimes while she's given instructions, and Jack follows her actions. Jack purses her lips as the scalding bitterness of the tea, desperate to spit the bits out, but Claire insists she swallows. When it's done and turned upside down on the draining board, Claire looks at her excitedly. Now you have to think about what you want to know. But I don't know what I want to know. Claire sighs, exasperated. Well, just think about your future then. Jack closes her eyes for a second, then turns the cup right side up and holds it close up to her face. What she sees gives her such a start that the cup flies from her hands and smashes on the tiled kitchen floor. Claire shrieks, "Oh my God, look what you've done, you stupid!" and she bends down to retrieve the pieces. Jack barely hears the cursing as Claire throws shards of china into the bin, muttering about needing a dustpan. Eventually, Claire notices that Jack is still standing and staring at the floor where the cup landed. The quick thinking that follows her into adult life takes over and she steers the now convulsing girl towards a chair, putting the kettle on again for a cup of sweet tea, this time made with a bag. "What did you see?" Claire asks as she sits Jack down. "What was in the cup? What did you see, Jack?" But Jackie can only shake her head, staring into space. She never tells anyone what she saw in the cup, and eventually Claire stops asking.